Hi everybody, this is Oksana, and today we're going to make a really fun and simple beginner pendant. It only uses one piece of wire and it is 20 gauge round wire. So mine is just plain copper, but you can just get this type of wire easily at the craft store. It normally comes in a variety of colors, so if you wanted to make the flower like a red rose or a specific color, you can do that. And then I added some charms here to make mine look like a flower has a leaf and a little butterfly above it. You can usually find all kinds of different charms at a craft store, and you can do different combinations to achieve different looks with this. So let's go ahead and get started making this pendant. The wire that we're going to be using in this video is 20 gauge round dead soft copper. Here is my spool of it. It is from riogrande.com. And I have quite a few videos that use only this wire if you wanted to keep it simple and start out by working with only one type of wire. And we are only going to need one piece of it for this project. I cut mine quite long because it's always better to have extra wire than to run out of wire. So mine is 15 inches long. And then my stone is a cabochon. It's an oval cabochon. I believe this is some sort of agate. And it measures, it's just over an inch, just a smidge over an inch, or if you want very precise measurements here, it appears to be 25, 26, 28 millimeters tall. But your stone can just be anywhere in this general vicinity. It does not have to be this exact size. So what we're going to do is we are going to bring the ends of our wire together like this. And then we're just gonna kind of push down on the wire. And what happens is we folded it in half. And then you need to find something small and round that you can bend this around. This is a chopstick. So something like this, or maybe like a very small pencil or something, or a paintbrush or a makeup brush. There's lots of round objects I'm sure that you can find in your house. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna create the bail, and the bail is that little loop that the necklace goes through when you wear it. So it's up to you how large you want your bail. And it also depends on your necklace. If you have like a really thick necklace that you want to put this on, then you'll want to make a bigger bail. So all I'm doing is I'm just crisscrossing these wires. And I'm just pushing them. They're going around my little chopstick here like this. So for me, this wire is on top and this wire is on the bottom. And what I want to do is I want to lock this in place. So what I'm going to do is the wire on top, I'm going to turn it like this. Kind of twist. And I'm going to do that one more time. You want to just bring it all the way around until it looks like this. It's kind of like facing you. Right? So I have my two little twists. I have my bail. And I have the wire like this. So now we're going to start using some tools. There's only two tools that you will need. I should have mentioned this one earlier, but you need wire cutters. That's how I cut myself this piece of wire to begin with. These are Swanstrom brand. Trying to get my camera to focus so you can see the spelling of that. And you can get them on their own, or they also come in a little kit from Riogrande. That's where these came from. And then my pliers, the other tool you'll need is pliers. These are Lindstrom RX 7890. So they have like an ergonomic handle, but any pliers that you have will work. And what we're going to use the pliers for right now is we are gonna just gently press on this bail because it almost has like a little curve in it from the twisting that we did. So after doing that, it kind of looks flatter and not as misshaped. So we're gonna take our stone and let's look at the back of it. We want our little twist to reach about a third way down here. It doesn't quite do that. It's still very short. So you can either put the chopstick or whatever you are using back in, or you can just hold it with your fingers as you twist some more. So I'm going to twist 2 more times. 1 and 2. And what you can do with the twist, sometimes it comes out a little bit uneven, and if you press on it with your pliers, that fixes it up. And another helpful thing is when you're doing the twist to have your wires kind of the same, at the same angle coming out here, because if you have one wire kind of more straight like this, and then this wire is coming up at an angle, what's going to happen when I twist is this wire is just going to wrap around the other wire instead of getting an even twist. So let's look now at the back of our stone. So that looks good to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these wires just going straight up and straight down like that. I'm going to hold my little bail, and if you look sideways, the bail has like a bump here. So if you lay this flat against your stone, then the bail will be like this. Like you can't go down any further because it protrudes right here, and that's what you want. So have it like that, and then have it centered here. This part is a little tricky because everything wants to move around and nothing wants to stay in place. So I'm just pinching that together, and I'm bending these wires from the back to the front. Here they are in the front. They're just going to crisscross. So if I show you the front here, they look like this. And this obviously like slides up and down right now. We will fix that. What you can do to make things a little easier if it's becoming really difficult for you to hold is you can take a little piece of painter's tape and you can just stick it here on the back. And that will kind of hold everything. It'll hold it gently though, so if you move it hard, it won't be able to withstand that, but at least everything's not like immediately falling apart for me right now. So what I'm going to do is look at which wire is on top and which wire is on the bottom. If yours are opposite, it's not a big deal. You can still do this. So what you want is the bottom wire kind of roughly in the middle. So I press here in the middle is going to start curving up, and then the wire that was on top, again just press down, and that one is going to start curving down like this. Now this wire, again I'm just kind of pressing here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch up to the other wire. So instead of them being in opposite ends, I'm just going to bring it here. Try to make this as tight as you can so it's not like a big loop with a lot of empty space inside of it. Try to make it a really tight little loop. And I'm bringing this wire underneath the other wire, like that. And once I've brought it underneath, I'm just gently pulling it towards me and away from the stone, because now I need to bring this wire underneath that wire. So if I have this like really tight against the stone, it's hard to get under there. That's why I lift it up a little bit. Now I'm taking the next wire and I'm bringing it underneath like that. and I can see a gap starting to form, which is okay because it's a pretty small gap, but I'm still just going to come in here with my pliers, and I'm just going to try and press that a little bit tighter so we can have less of a gap there. Let me zoom in. I know it kind of looks like a hot mess right now, but it's going to end up looking like a flower. So now I'm taking this wire that's on top, and you basically just move it forward, like curve it along this line and have it go underneath the other wire. Okay, then lift it up, take the next wire, have it go underneath. And what it's doing is it's kind of twisting the wires together and giving this rose looking pattern. So now this wire is on top, so I'm just curving it around and bringing it underneath. Raising it up a little bit, the next wire, putting it down, curving it, and having it go underneath. And I have this kind of flower pattern in quite a few of my videos, so you might have seen me do it already if you've seen some of the past videos where I made a little rose like this. So now this wire underneath, and once you are satisfied with the size of your flower is when you can stop. I think this is good, but feel free to make yours larger. So what we're gonna do is this wire here that is kind of a head, so to speak, we are going to just curve it down like this. I'm actually going to try to pull on it a little bit to work it underneath the flower so you don't see the wire as much. And then this wire here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push it down against the stone. So we've separated our wires. One is going up and one is going down. So let's work on the up one first. We are going to add a cute little charm. So I looked through my stash and I found a few different options. I have this little butterfly that looks like this. You can find charms in a craft store. They usually have them like as spacer beads, or they'll have like a whole string of them. You can also find them online, places like eBay and Etsy. So this is the other butterfly. It's a little bit bigger. I like it better, like the look of it, but I wonder if it's too big. So I think I'm gonna stick with this because the other butterfly is quite large. So what we're gonna do is just peel back this tape just a little bit so our veil is revealed, and then I'm gonna take this wire that the butterfly is on and I am wrapping it around the veil, and I'm just going all the way around like this. And what we're gonna do now is just trim that wire and leave a little end. I'll show you. So I trimmed it, and then you can see my little end there sticking up. So what I'm gonna do with that little end is I'm just gonna curve it kind of this way into the bail, and then I'm just gonna press down on it. And now it's, because it was so short, it's not really sticking up in any direction. You can kind of try to press it more into the bail like that. But the important thing is that you can't feel it, and no like sharp bits of it are sticking out. If you can feel it, just press on it some more to kind of point it away from the side here until it's smooth. All right, so that part is done. Now we're going to work on this bottom portion. I found a lot of different leaf beads that I've accumulated over the years, so we're just gonna try them out. I just wanna show you different things because an exact bead might be difficult to find. So by showing you different ones, I'm kind of giving you some more ideas. So I found this little leaf that's kind of the same color as a butterfly. And then I found this one here that's like a very colorful one. Very shiny. Let's see. That looks really cute. And then I found this one here, which is like a plastic acrylic leaf. And I think I like this one the best. One thing that I think will impact what looks best for you is your stone, because some just go better with certain stones than others. So I think that looks good. And what we're gonna do now is peel back this tape here. We want to bend this wire so that it's hitting the stone right in the middle here. Like this. Right in the middle and bend it down. Now we can remove the tape altogether. So how the stone is being held is the bail and this wire are holding it at the top. These wires are on the sides and then this wire is on the bottom. If you were to remove this wire, like say you just wanted to move it, the stone would come out the bottom. So it's really important to have these wires on all sides. So what we have to do now is connect this wire here to lock it in place so that it does not move. So what we're going to do is, out of these two wires on the back, you can see that this one is a little bit raised. You're going to have one that's a little bit raised. So if it's this other one for you, that's fine. Just work on this side instead. But for me, it's this wire on the right that's a little bit raised. So I'm going to cut my wire and leave yourself a little end. It's better if it's longer than shorter. You can always cut it shorter later. Okay, but it's like a maybe 5mm little end here. And then we're going to take the wire and we are going to just kind of pull it back first. And then we're going to tuck it underneath. That's why that gap was important. So if your gap is over here, you tuck it over there. And we are pushing it through the gap. Then we're going to grab this little end on the other side here and we're going to bend it kind of forward this way. So here it is. This wire got a little bend in it from me pulling it back to tuck it under. So what you can do is you can just press on that with your pliers and that will fix it. And that's flat now. You want to make sure this is still here on the bottom, kind of in the middle, that this hasn't moved. And now we're going to take this and we're going to curve it all the way down like this. And at this point, if it's a little bit too long, you can trim off a little bit here at the tip. But if it was too short, then you would have a hard time getting it to curve like this. So now we're going to just take this, think of it as like a little loop that's open. We're going to close it by pressing down on that little wire end. And make sure you press really well because that's going to lock it in place. If you don't press well, it might be able to slide around back and forth on this wire, and we don't want that. We want to just lock it in place like that. And that's it. So this is the back. This is the final look of the piece. I ended up oxidizing the copper and I switched out the leaf for a slightly darker leaf just because I thought it looked better with the darker copper. Oxidizing copper is not something you have to do. It is an optional step. I do have a video tutorial that shows you how to do it. If you're interested, it can only be done with bare copper. If you like the natural look of copper and you want to maintain it, I suggest you get copper that is tarnish resistant. It will have a coating on it that will protect it from darkening, because copper will naturally darken just when exposed to air over time. Coated wires also come in assortment of colors, so if you wanted to make this like a red rose, you can just find a red wire, for example. But anyways, just wanted to show you how it ended up looking here in the end. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, and I'll see you next time.